Big breaking news coming in right now. It seems there could be a US attack that is imminent on Iran. And this is being believed because US B-2 bombers have been spotted flying across the Pacific. As viewers would remember, B-2 bombers are key to this entire war because B-2 bombers are the ones that carry the bunker buster bombs. Those very bombs that are considered essential for hitting underground facilities, nuclear facilities of Iran. So the question is, could a US attack be imminent? Could we be seeing a US attack in very near future? Remember, Donald Trump had said that he would wait for 2 weeks. Joining me right now is India Today's Rohit Sharma from the US. What are we hearing about the movement of the US B-2 bombers, Rohit?
Well, look, it's very surprising that there was a two-week deadline, but the United States did not wait, and they've actually started moving the B-2 bombers from Whitman Air Force Base here in Missouri. Now, again, as you said, these are capable of carrying the 30,000-pound bunker buster bombs that could potentially target Iran's underground nuclear facilities. We also know for a fact that President Trump is in New Jersey, and he is going to be coming to Washington, D.C. this afternoon. He has a National Security Council meeting at 6 p.m., and there's going to be another meeting tomorrow morning. But these B-2 bombers have been moved. They are flying to Guam. That's been confirmed. Now, it could be posturing for now. It could be, putting additional pressure on Iran. But the fact is, and it's been confirmed by the Pentagon, that the B-2 bombers are airborne and they're moving west towards Guam.
Right. Rohit, do try and explain to us, what exactly are the B-2 bombers? And as you were telling us that they are essential and they're key to hitting the underground nuclear facilities. So do explain to us the role of the bombers in the American military as well.
Well, look, I think news has been dominated by the fact that there are these underground, facilities in Iran that needs to be bombed. And the only United States has these bombers that could carry these 30,000 GBU-57, penetrator that only the US can do. And essentially, this was very important and key. If all the eyes were on, if the US would get involved, how the US will get involved, it could be a precision strike for all we know. And this is why the movement of these B-2 bombers alongside refueling jets, that's another thing that's going on, because they're traveling large distance. There are refueling jets that are accompanying these B-2 bombers that could be potentially used in this war. Now, again, as I said, this could be one-off precision strike that the US wants to help aid Israel in. But this could be massive because if they do strike Iran, that would really rupture Iran's nuclear program, which has been, as I said, has been dominating the news cycle for over the last 10 days or so.
But it's not just about Iran's nuclear infrastructure. It's also about if US gets into this war, then the whole scenario changes. Today only we heard Iran once again threatening that things could be totally different if US gets involved. So after the whole shebang, when we heard that we are going to wait for 2 weeks, this sudden movement could be surprising for Iran and for the global community as well, the rest of the countries that are watching.
Yes, and as I said, it could also be, President Trump's posturing. It could also be sending a strong signal. We saw that there were meetings yesterday in Switzerland. Nothing, came out of it. So it could also be making sure that Iranians do, surrender, as President Trump called them to do, and could also be, making sure that the U.S. is positioned to take action when required. So, a lot is left to imagination at this point in time, but this is a clear indication, the first clear indication that U.S. is considering bombing Iran and making sure that, these strikes are carried out. We'll probably hear something from President Trump this evening, again, off the cuff comments that, he usually makes. If not, definitely something tomorrow morning. But these B-2 stealth bombers, right? This is a very big deal, and it could be seen as escalation by the Iranians as well.
Okay, that's something important. It could be seen as escalation by Iranians because not just the attack, but just the fact that you are posturing for that attack could also be considered as an aggression by the Iranian regime. Do tell us that, there was a little bit of a speculation as to Israel running out of its arsenal. not possibly being able to sustain the war for a long time. And in that kind of a situation now, US coming out and sort of giving it a, let's say, a little bit of a bump up and saying, yes, we are there, and maybe this could be a little bit of a posturing, as you're saying.
It could very well be, right? I mean, look, the Israelis know that they have the backing from the US, right? Even if it's not, said explicitly. I mean, that's what we've seen over the years, over decades. So it could be that also. And as far as I think, the Israelis are concerned and what they have said, they've been sticking to their line, which is they cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon, which is essentially a talking point in Washington, D.C. as well, which is what President Trump has also been saying. So it could all be a part of war games. It could all be posturing. It could very well be, a bluff, or maybe not. But the pressure is, they're trying to turn the screws on Iran at this point in time with this. And again, breaking news that, hey, President Trump is going to be meeting his National Security Council at 6 p.m. Now, there's also a chartered path. People have got on this path where, these bombers could land late night in Guam, and then from there, they would be just waiting command from President Trump. So we'll have to wait and watch what happens essentially. But at this point in time, it's been confirmed that they are moving, and there is a possible, strike preparation that could be, that could take place if the President of the United States decides to do that.
Okay, that's quite interesting. Let me just once again tell our viewers what exactly is happening right now, why we're bringing you this big news. So it seems that the B-2 bombers are moving towards Guam, as Rohit was also telling us. This is all amid the Middle East tensions. As we all know, Western Asia has been right now embroiled in a conflict between Israel and Iran. Now, the movement of these B-2 bombers is very crucial, because these are the ones that carry those bunker buster bombs that we've all been talking about, that gives Israel the capability of striking Iran in their nuclear facilities, which are underground, which till now it's been believed that Israel would not be able to hit unless and until US jumps in and helps out, because US is the only country which has that capacity. Now, the news that we are getting right now, and Reuters has also put out this news, is that the United States is moving these B-2 bombers to the Pacific island of Guam. Now, this Guam comes under the US territory. It is closer to the Asian side. So, if you look at the map scenario also, it definitely is going to get you within striking range, although not really that close. So the question is, we would like to get some more experts to weigh in on this, that how far away is it actually from Iran? Is it actually a threatening position? Is it a position which could be considered aggressive?